Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 5 of my Fantasy Grounds Unity game prep stream. My name is David, and I'll be with you for the next hour plus, and we are going to be continuing on where I left off last week, which is working on the second map in the Menace under Otari adventure from the Pathfinder 2 beginner box set. This is an adventure that I'm running for my group on Monday, and I try to prep enough to where I'll have enough content for that week. We usually play about an hour to an hour and a half, so we don't play very long because I just don't have a lot of time to run games. So, all right, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Gloria's token. And this is map 2. We've already finished map 1. And last week, I actually had a really productive week with getting all of the occluder lines added. So you can see they've all been added. And I tested this last week before I ended, and there were no gaps on any of the lines. So none of the light was escaping, which is really nice. Carl's done a great enough job to where you don't have any problems. If you may intersect a couple of points, there may be a little sliver, but you can just easily grab these points and just with your left mouse click button and just kind of move them to join them together. So yes, if you folks have any questions, please feel free to drop them into any of the chats, whether you are on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or DLive. Feel free to ask your questions away, and I'll answer them when I get to usually about every 15 minutes or so. I usually come to a good stopping point, answer questions, and then I continue on. So, but yeah, today I'm going to be adding probably some terrain walls. I'm going to go room by room, kind of read the description for each room, and if there's any kind of lighting that needs to be done, I'm going to do that. So we're going to start in the first room here. And this looks like a sort of like maybe a gathering room or storage room or something. So let's go ahead and check out this description. Make sure you're in play mode, or you won't be able to click on any of the links. So it looks like doesn't look like there's any kind of lighting. At the beginning of this adventure, it says all rooms are dark unless otherwise specified. So that's nice that they did that. So, but it looks like this room is pretty much done. I don't see any other lighting or any sconces or candles or anything like that. So it looks like this is going to be dark. So we're going to kind of move on. In fact, I'll kind of go from left to right. So now this is cool. Now, we've got a lot of nice map making tools in Fantasy Grounds Unity, and this fountain has a mermaid on a sort of like a dais in the center of the pool. So I want to make this look cool, and I want the water to ripple. So I'm going to show you folks how to do that. So I'm just basically going to disable line of sight, and you can do that with the dice. Whenever you unlock the map, all of the map making tools will appear, and you can turn off line of sight and everything just by clicking on enable disable lighting or disable line of sight or player vision, which is a really nice new feature that Carl added in that allows you as a DM to see what the players see whenever you click on their token. So that's really nice. So I want to add some water to this map. And to do that, we need to create an effects layer. And up top, I mentioned here's the primary bar where all of your tools are. And you want to go to the FX tab. Now, when you click on the FX tab, you can do a couple of things. You can either manually create an effects layer down here in the bottom right-hand corner, in the bottom part of the map making tools. So you can either click that, or you can just select whatever you want. So for this effect, I want water. So as you can see, the whole screen's rippling, and obviously the whole map looking like it's underwater. It looks cool, but that's not really what we want here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mask. And right here is the enable mask button. It's basically a burglar mask, the Hamburglar. Remember the Hamburglar when you were a kid? You just hit enable mask, and now this is rippling, but you just can't see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start opening up the water. So there's a couple ways you can do this. First, you can just left click and drag and drop your pointer around. But you can't get on all the details, like in between the wing, the tail and all that stuff. So what you do is you hold down Alt and you just start tracing out everything that you want to have the water ripple. And you can see slowly but surely you'll get this to where you want it. So look at that. Isn't that cool as heck? And I'm just basically just gonna trace around the pillar. Gonna trace around the mermaid. And trace around the edge of the pool as good as I can. Oops, so I kind of messed that up. So I'm gonna disable the mask and then I'm gonna enable it again. And I'm gonna redo this. So I'm going to do it in smaller sections, I think. So I'm going to do a big chunk there, and then I'm going to hold down Alt. Don't forget to hold down Alt. That is the key if you want to do tracing. And then you can even get closer if you want. I'm not trying to get it 100% perfect. But yeah, this is how you create a mask with an effect layer. And you can do this not only with water, but with all of the other options that we have as well, like clouds and nighttime. So pretty cool, huh? And then I'll just use a rectangle to do this entire area here, to do this entire area here. So look at that. Our pool is rippling. And it's not rippling on top of the statue, on top of the mermaid statue. Doesn't that look awesome? Oh, man. And, I want my players to be able to see this, but whatever layer that you have, and you can rename your layers as well. You can just kind of double click it. And I'm just going to call this mermaid fountain. So when I'm looking at all of my layers, I know which layer is what. And then you can turn this off. You can make it visible to you only as a GM, or you can make it visible to all, which is the default selection. So I would definitely keep that on. Make sure it's on visible to all so everybody can see it. But yeah, that fountain looks really good. You can also go up into the all of the adjustments up here, and you can change everything. You can make it, wobble a lot more, but I like it like it is. And I know this is the water's pretty active for a fountain, but I want my players to be able to see it. I don't want it to be so subtle that they can't see what's going on. I want them to come into this room and say, holy cow, look at that, water's moving. So yeah, that's what I want. So yeah, so I've got this room done. I don't think there's anything else. Make sure you go back into play mode so you can click on any of your story journals. And I think this is just going to have the fountain in it, and that's it. Doesn't mention of any other light sources or anything like this. So the fountain itself is a trap, which is cool. But I've already input all of this data. In fact, I did this before I started doing this weekly stream. Now, next week, I'm going to be starting the Starfinder beginner box set, and I'm going to create that from scratch. So yeah, that's going to be cool. All right, so here we got some more water. So yeah, let's create another effects layer. So I want to go down here to effects layer. Turn it on, make sure it's on. It's on by default. I want to rename this water pool. Let's call this water in cave. You can call it whatever you want. All right, so now I want to select this effects layer, go up to the effects tab, because remember, here's your navigation for all of the different tools that we offer. And I'm going to have it selected, and I want to select water again. So here we go. Now, there again, the whole screen is jiggling like water, and we don't want that. So remember what I showed you last time. You want to go to the mask section and click Enable Mask. And we are going to trace this out again. So what we're going to do is, now if it was nice square sections, like I said, just, drag your mouse around and just open it up. But for this, we want to get it, refined, and hold down Alt and just kind of trace where all the water is. And when you do that, and then when you stop tracing and release it, look at that. All that water just jiggling around. Isn't that cool? So awesome. All right, and I'm just going to quickly trace the rest of this. Kind of do it in sections. All right. Wasn't it looking good? The players are really going to like that. And then I'm just going to trace the rest of it. It's kind of coming into the next room, which is we're going to add several other effects to it. There you go. Now look at that. And I'm going to leave it like it is. I mean, I could make the ripples a lot more subtle, and like I said, you can adjust this, make it as wavy as you want or subtle. I may make this a little bit more subtle. It was at 25, but I think I'll take it down to maybe 15. And the speed of it, I may slow that down too. I may take that to about a 15. Yeah, there you go. That is cool. Look at that. So the players are going to have a nice experience as they kind of travel around and see the water in the fountain and any kind of mushrooms that are glowing, stuff like that. All of the water here. Now we're to this room here. So I'm going to add some more effects layers. So don't forget to go back into play mode so you can click on any journals to read them. So this looks like there's 3 orbs. Pulsing orbs that are in the room, earth, stone, and fire. So I think that's going to be cool. It doesn't say that there are any lights in here, but I would imagine this fire orb would be kicking some light. That's what I would imagine. All right, so let's see. It doesn't see anything, but I'm going to add light on this. So what I might do is I might give the orbs a cool little look with this. So this is the earth orb. What I think I'll do is let's add an effects layer again. Remember down here in the bottom, hit add effects layer, and then we're going to name this earth orb, so we can keep track of all of our effects. I really highly recommend doing that. So let's get back into our effects and let's see what we got. Rain, snow, blizzard, mist, clouds, water. Let's give this an effect layer too. Let's mask this. And then let's trace this out with our Alt key and at least give this orb some type of like effect. There we go. So we can kind of turn it down, make it a little bit more subtle, and adjust it to your liking. There you go. Yeah, that looks good. So it looks like that orb has some type of pulse going on, right? Yeah. I like that. Yeah, it looks really good. Hmm. So let's see, Earth orb. Yeah, there we go. So we make sure that's on to all. All right. Let's go to we're going to have to do a couple things for, all right, now this is cool. I would imagine this ice orb would probably be putting some light out. So, I would say let's add another effects layer, and we'll call this ice orb. And don't forget to hit enter. It's on. Let's select this, and we'll go with let's go with a blizzard. Let's see what this looks like. That's pretty. Let's go with snow. Check out rain. Mist. Maybe mist. Or maybe clouds. Maybe that would be cool. I kind of like the blizzard. So why don't we go ahead and kind of adjust this now? Yeah. Let's kind of adjust this a little bit more. I want them to be able to see it. So let's kind of do that looks cool. Look at that. Yeah, let's go ahead and adjust it there. And then let's go ahead and enable the mask. And then we'll go ahead and we'll use our shift. And for this orb, I'm going to kind of go outside of the orbs. Oh, sorry about that. It's Alt, folks, not shift. So let's kind of do like a wavy line around it. Yeah, look at that. And then we'll kind of do this as well. I don't know. Let's see. Let's kind of blur that. Let's see if the blur. Yeah, I like jacking that blur up so you can see less of the actual rough edge around it. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that. So I think we'll keep that like that, or you can do a perfect circle around it. I wanted to do a. Let's go ahead and disable it, and let's enable it. I want to see what a nice, pretty even circle looks like around it. And then we'll adjust that blur as well. So there we go. I like that. I think that looks pretty good. And like I said, you can adjust the speed and everything else of the actual blizzard itself. Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. And we can add another light as well. Even though it doesn't say any light is in here, we could still kind of do that. So let's see. Yeah, let's do our last effect first. So let's come down here. And let's see, for fire. I would say using the water effect and a smoke effect would be good. So we could, and you can actually use two effect layers on top of one another to kind of mix these together. So let's add another effects layer here. Okay. We're going to call this fire orb. Don't forget to hit enter. All right. So we're going to select it. Let's call this fire orb. Fire orb aura, because we're going to do two, right? So let's do the water. We're going to enable the mask, and then let's kind of trace. I think we should trace this whole area. So hit Alt and then trace the entire. Unfortunately, that piezo symbol's there. Maybe we'll say that's a piezo magic item. I don't know. Gotta love the piezo watermark right where you don't want it. And then we'll kind of slow the we'll kind of slow the effect down on this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that looks good. I'm getting all Bob Ross on you. Oh yeah, this looks beautiful. All right, so let's make another effect layer now, and we'll call this Fire Orb. Okay, so what is going on? Why is my... All right, I know I'm hitting enter. So let's call this Fire Orb again. Fire Orb Aura. Hit enter. Okay. Maybe I'm clicking it on accident. So we'll call this Fire Orb Smoke. All right. So yeah, that looks good. So let's add the orb smoke. Make sure you have that selected. And then let's see, do we want mist or do we want clouds? I think clouds might be better. So let's go ahead and we'll enable our mask. Hold down Alt and we'll trace the room out. There's that piezo symbol again. You could take that off if you wanted to go with Photoshop or something. You could take that out. So let's I want to take the speed down on this. Yeah, this does not look cool, man. All right, so yeah, there we go. We change direction. I don't know if I want a whole bunch. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, that looks good. And the blur's good on this. You can't see the edge on this anyway, but yeah, that looks good. I like that. Look at that. Yeah, so we've got our water effect. Ah, look at that ice orb. Doesn't that look so cool? Holy cow, that does look good. Let's do the earth. Let's throw some rain or something on top of this earth orb, shall we? That might be pretty cool. So let's we'll call this earth orb aura, and we'll hit enter. And then we'll create another effect. This is such a rabbit hole, isn't it? I warn everybody every week. This is such this is good. Earth Orb Rain. Let's call that Earth Orb Rain, okay? All right, so we're going to select this and we'll go to, let's go to Rain. And then we'll hit don't forget to hit Enable Mask. And like we did with the cold orb or the frost orb, let's hold down Alt and let's kind of trace around a little bit more of a circumference than what the orb is itself. Yeah, look at that. That is so cool. So that has the wavy aura and also the rain aura. So okay, so I need to figure out what's going on, why the layer text is not saving. I'll have to send something over to Carl. Could be just me as well. All right, so let's call this Earth Orb Rain. Hit enter. All right. There we go. Yeah, that looks really good. So the players are going to get some serious immersion from this room. I like that, especially with the water. Ah, look at that orb. That looks so cool. Oh, my goodness. All right. So I think that will look pretty good. So we don't have anything else here. I could add some terrain occluders here because of the steep embankments. I mean, that is almost, I would say, what, 5-10 feet? We could do that. So let's kind of check this out. Is there anything else in this room? Make sure you go back to play. And then this is a Zolgath cave. So, okay, so I have the wrong pin on the map. So I'm glad I caught that. So let's go to all my tabs. Let's look for Zolgath cave. Here we go, Zolgath cave. Put that there. Get rid of this pin. So now, instead of the Zolgath cave encounter popping up, all right, so that is correct. I just put the wrong pin down, unfortunately. But, you know, when you're working, I probably was working on this at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so I was probably half sleeping when I did that. So besides the horrid stench coming from this room, it doesn't look like there is anything else that is involved with it. So it doesn't look like there's any other light. So it looks like this room is done light-wise and effect-wise. So let's go into our line of sight tab up here at the top. It is the wall icon. And we're going to do a couple of, I would say let's do a couple of lines, terrain lines here, here, and here. So the players can't see way up, 15 feet above their head and stuff. So I want to choose the tree icon, which is a terrain, and it'll give you a green line. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of zoom in here, and I'm just going to connect this point. Sorry about that. Click line. Make sure after you click terrain, you want to make sure you got terrain, and then click whatever line you want. A straight line. You can do a rectangle or a clip. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use the line. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do something like this. So the players won't be able to see up. So, and you can see that the boxes will kind of snap to any other occluder points. So with the terrain, you need to make sure that you have a box. So you can turn the box on or off. And I'm just going to kind of follow this. So, and then I'm going to just put that there. And then to stop doing it, just click escape. And there you go. All right. So I'm gonna set a token down. I want to test this out, and then just so I can show you all what it looks like. So we're gonna go to play mode. I'm gonna enable line of sight. I'm gonna enable the lighting, and I'm gonna put down Gloria on the token. So she can see that. Well, it's probably because she can't see that. Yeah, there we go. Once you move the token, it registers all of the lighting. So yeah, you can see that there's something here, an embankment. I think I'm going to take the embankment up a little bit more. And I do this all the time when I'm doing all of my line of sight, my effects, and all that other stuff. I don't like the way this turned out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my lighting again. I'm going to go back into my line of sight, and I'm going to just go back to select, and I'm going to double click on one of these points, and then I'm just going to hit the delete key, and the delete key will get rid of everything. So I'm going to redo this terrain wall again, because I want Gloria to be able to see all the way up top, right? So let's go back. Let's do a line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it a little bit higher this time. Oops, that is the wrong wall. That is not what I want. So I'm glad that I did that. So just go to select mode, click on the point that you don't want, and just hit delete. Simple as that. So I want to go back to my terrain. I'm good to go. I'll have the green line. And like I said, I just kind of want to, yeah, I think this will be much better this time. So I'm just going to click it to this point. So now Gloria will be able to see the entirety of the embankment. So I think that is going to look so much better. So just make sure when you're done, just hit escape and you're good. Let's go back to play mode. We're going to turn on all our occluders and stuff. So yes, there we go. That looks so much better, because before I don't think you could tell what that was. So now when you come up these earthen stairs and you can see this embankment, you're like, okay, cool. So the player can do a skill check if there's a skill check needed, or if they take their time, they can just kind of climb up, and then voila, they can see everything beyond the terrain wall. But then again, they can't see anything behind them. So they have to go back over the occluder line. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Even though technically she would probably be able to see, all you'd have to do as a game master is just open it up, and then Gloria would be able to, because there's a little open icon here, open, close. So don't forget you can do that as well. But if you open it up, any players down here would be able to see. So that's why I would personally leave it closed. So there you go. All right, so let's do another couple of these occluder lines really quickly. So I want to disable all of this. I want to go back into my walls. Terrain's already selected. I want to make a light. Yes, a terrain, which is a tree, and then I want to do lines. So here again, I'm just going to use just a pointer that's already there. And I'm going to leave a little bit of gap there so I can kind of work my way around. Because when you use a terrain, you have to do it in a box type of format. You just can't do a single line, unfortunately. So yeah, this is going to look really good. So yes, Gloria will be able to see. There you go. I've got my next terrain feature done. Just hit escape. You're done. Let's turn everything back on in play mode. There we go. Yeah. So now she's up here. She can see the next embankment. She can climb up there. And she's good to go. So let's turn this off. And I've got one more. I'll quickly go into my line of sight again. And I'm going to do a terrain. I want to do this. And I think I'll use this occluder point and just kind of go off of that. And then I'm going to go here, use that occluder point. And you can get, you can put as much detail into this as you want to. So there we go. Hit escape. There's our next. We'll check this out. I always check everything out, and I really recommend anyone working on this stuff to kind of test it out to see if it works. Make sure that there's no light, escaping through any gaps in any of the occluders or, any of the intersecting points, etc. So you don't want your players walking around and saying, hey, I can see through this. Why is there a gap of light? Because they will say that. So I've had that happen. So that's why I actually kind of test everything as I make it now. Okay, so we're getting a bunch of this done here. So I'm at a good stopping point, and I want to take some questions. So if any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in chat, and I'll answer questions for a couple of minutes. So. Sean, how's it going? Leonardo, Bell, Zerbius, Fantasy Grounds, hello, whoever's on the Fantasy Grounds account, either Doug or Josh or someone else. Hey, it would be nice if you could be able to paint your mask. What do you mean by paint the mask? Put a ambient color. You could just do an ambient color layer. That's all you would need to do. Yes, Bell, the Paizo monster hit that map. Yeah. Hit the map with the icon. Zerbius, yeah, the rooms are dark, but you could put a light glow. Yeah, if it doesn't say it, I mean, I'm going to be giving this to Trenlow and Shade Raven to add into the Pathfinder Beginner box set. I think that's about done now. So it should be on the store pretty soon. So when I'm done with this map, I'll finish it up tonight if I don't finish it on the stream. And I'm going to get the HML over to them so they can put that into the beginner box set, save them some time. So yeah, if it doesn't say it, I'm not going to do it because it's going to go into the module. But I do like the little effects on the orbs and stuff. I think that was a cool addition. So Anglo Spark, how's it going? Yes, that water, that Paizo watermark monster got us. So, Bryce, how's it going? Yeah, I could use the ocean effect too. That would have been a good choice. Elden in YouTube looks like when you set a mask, it renames the layer. Oh, that could be it. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I'll shoot something over to Carl. Bryce, clouds jack the shadows all the way up. Looks like the smoke, in my opinion. Yeah, it looks good. I like that. I really like the orb there, the frost orb. Yeah, it looks good. I like that. I like that as well. With the rain and the water effect. Yeah, it looks good. And I like the water too. That just looks cool. Even though I don't think it would be waving and sloshing like that. Seeing that the water's probably about 2 or 3 inches deep coming up onto the marble floor. Yeah. But anyways, just the whole immersion, your players will be like, oh, wow, that is so cool. So, yeah, Dr. Anik, welcome over in YouTube. Yeah, that's really cool. Hey, what's up? Speaking of Trenlo, there's Martin. Hey, what's going on, Trenlo? I hope you don't mind. It's not the best. You know, I don't take exuberant amounts of time to doing this stuff, but I hope you like it. What's the difference between wall and terrain? Navik, that's a good question. When you're in your line of sight mode, the red is a wall, and a wall means that no light will pass through it, and a token cannot pass through it either. So if the player runs into the wall, the player can't move through the wall. The tokens are confined within the red wall. Now, and then, you know, obviously all the light and everything is captured and stays within the red wall as well. Now, the terrain, that works a little bit differently. It blocks the token's view like I had shown you, but your token can pass through it. So the player can climb up that embankment and we'll be able to see. So I'll show you one more time. So here we go. Gloria is in this room and she climbs up the embankment, right? So she can actually move her token. And once she moves past the terrain occluders, the terrain wall, then she can see past. And then she won't be able to see the other way. But then again, you can also open it up as you kind of explore the map. So, but yeah, that's how walls work compared to the terrain. And, you know, I'll kind of turn this on one more time. See, all this is red. See, I'm trying to move the token. I can't even move the token through the wall. The red walls do not allow you to move. And I'm picking up the token and it doesn't even allow the GM to do it. So, yeah. So when I'm testing, I have to kind of move it around in the corridors to make sure no light gaps or anything like that are happening. So, all right. So we're getting actually quite a bit of this done. We're at least halfway done. So let's go to the next room. Thanks everybody for your questions, and keep asking. And I'll start with Malik's. I'll start with your question when I do my next round of questions. So yeah, but thanks, Trenlo. Good. I'm glad you're doing good, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll get the occluder data over to you later tonight. So I'll finish this up once I stop, because I'm going to start doing the beginner box set adventure for Starfinder next. All right, so let's get back into play mode so we can see what's going on in this room, which is the Kobold Warren. So as the door opens, the smell of rotten fish and mold wafts out. Too bad we didn't have I guess we could do like a steam effect. Just that stench of fish and mold just hits you. Looks like there's a table, old kind of food scraps, knives, nothing, no light, nothing like that. It doesn't look like. So I think we are good to go here. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's anything here. So that's a big amount of area. However, I will say that we do see a pretty steep embankment here. So let's add a terrain feature here. So let's go back into our terrain. We'll select our line, and I'm gonna just pretty much use one of these occluder points that's already there and just kind of trace it. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more too. I like to zoom in a little bit more. So I'll use this point. I'll use that point. Yeah, isn't that cool how you can just kind of, it snaps to other points? Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. All right. And you can also, instead of using the navigation down here in the lower right, I do that. You can also use your mouse wheel button and just press down and move move it that way. But I tend to fat finger my entire mouse when I mash down on that. So that's why I use the navigation button in the lower right hand corner. So, okay, let's pull Gloria. Where are you at, Gloria? Gloria, where are you at? Where is Gloria? She is hiding on me. All right, so there she is. I need to go back into play mode, and I need to drag her here. Can I do it? I think I can. Yeah, I can do it without line of sight turned on. So I trolled myself there. Trolled myself. So let's check this out. All right, don't see any lighting kind of sneaking through. So she can just kind of come up here and then move forward. So it looks like that's working good. Let's get this turned off. I'm going to move Gloria. And now if that was a pit, if that was a trap of like, this is a bottomless pit, I believe. So let's kind of open this next room up and kind of read. And this pit in the center of this chamber is 20 feet deep. All right. So we can actually, let's put a trap in here. So this is a occluder wall that I haven't used yet. So where is the trap? Illusionary wall, the pit. Here we go. We'll use the pit. And then there's a couple of other options where it's toggleable and it blocks movement. Yeah, so they're turned on. We want to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna make this. Let's definitely we'll kind of allow the player to see some of the pit too when they're down in there. So yeah, it'll be a dotted red line. And this is one of the newer type of occluders that Carl has added in. And when your token falls, when a player falls down in there, so if they decide to do an athletics check and try to jump across this pit and they fail it miserably, then their token is going to literally be stuck inside of this pit and they can't move it out. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to hit escape and we're going to go back into line of sight. And they're not going to be able to see anything. See, you can't even, they won't even be able to see this. So when they look at that, when they fall into the pit, they can't see anything except for the inside of the confines of this pit. So they're going to be freaking out saying, okay, I can't see anything else. Oh no, what's going on? Well, that's because you just fell 20 foot. And by the way, let me give you some fall damage for that. And yeah, so that's the cool thing with the pits. Basically, the token is trapped, and then when when Gloria's trying to get out, she won't. Oops, she can't move out of the pit. See, I'm trying to pick her token up, and I can't take her out. Not until you open the pit, and then that's when she can get out. Isn't that so cool? So yeah, that is so awesome. All right, so I'm going to open this up so I can get poor Gloria out. I've tortured Gloria enough in that pit. So, all right, so now we're in the next room. Let's go back into play mode. I'm going to turn off my light again. But I do, I can't stress enough, test your work. Test your work. So this is the Dragon Keeper room. This is where the Kobold boss is and the scouts. I believe this is all dark as well. I don't see anything about any lights or or anything like that. So let's see. Yep. Just the pit. And then there's another embankment up here as well. So I'll probably do one up here at the top. I'll let them be able to see up the stairs. And then, oh yeah. So here is, so in this Dragon Keeper room, they want you to be able to see the orc. The kobold, he's sitting in his throne, right? And then he gets up and he stands up and he's on his crown made of fish bones. And when he stands up and he says, "Kill the intruders," she snarls and barks that command. So I'm not going to put anything up here. No, I'm not going to put anything up here. It's going to block light because I want the players to be able to come in here and see the kobold throne. And, actually they want, in the description, it sounds like they want you to see it as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave this like it is. And let's kind of test out the other line of sight occluders here, because I'm kind of working my way around. There's some flea-ridden hay mattresses here for sleeping quarters. Doesn't look like there's any light leaking or anything like that. So I just wanted to quickly test it before I pass it off to Shade and Trinlow. All right, there we go. Everything looks good. I'm going to turn this off now. All right, put Glory up here. Yeah, looks good. So the players will have to either climb up this embankment or up here. There's no light. So it looks like we're almost done. We have this huge mushroom chamber here, and I believe this is in the mushroom grotto. There is a dragon. So yeah, this is where the dragon fight is. So the towering yellow mushrooms that are covering the floor are vast in this. Well, they're in this vast cave. Okay, so this is cool. So it says that the mushrooms are emitting a pale light, giving the entire chamber an eerie glow. So that's cool. So I'm gonna do a pretty large light source. So it doesn't look like there's anything else here except for the light source. And then I always bold any kind of skill checks so I can see as I'm running the game. I can say, oh, okay, it can catch my eye. Okay, they need to do an athletic skill check. And then as I'm, running the game, I can kind of read it really quick to see what that skill check could be, for. So green dragon. So it doesn't look like there's anything else. All right, so let's glow this room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add multiple light sources to this. I'm going to put a light source on every single mushroom. And I think I'm going to do it instead of just like a regular white. It says a pale light. So I think I might do like a pale yellow or something like that. So let's add these lights on here. So to do that, you want to go back up in your toolbar and click on lighting. And when you click on lighting, all you have to do is just, what kind of source do you want, in your preset? Do you want a candle? Do you want a lamp? Do you want a torch? For this, I think I might use a couple different ones. I may use on the big ones, I might use a torch. So let's select torch here. And then I will go ahead and let's see. Yeah, let's add the light. Let's select torch. And then I'll stamp one there. And it has it already has a radius built into it. So I'm going to add one there. Let's see. I'll add one here because I don't know if I need. Let's add some other ones too. So let's add a couple candles. So everything that's smaller, I'm just going to put a candle there. So I'm just going to select candle, bam, select candle, And then I'll put a candle in this cluster. All right, so now let's turn on all of our lights and see how this looks. Gloria. So yeah, so she doesn't have a lot of light on herself, but when she comes into this room, oh wow, there's a lot of light in here. So yeah, that works. So she can actually see it is a pale light. So I guess we could kind of turn down the light a little bit to give it a little bit more, ambience and stuff. So let's go into our light mode. We're going to click select, and then we'll click on each one of these lights. Just click on the light symbol, and you can see that they're like torches and stuff like that, candles. So what we can do is we can, for each one of these light sources, we can adjust the flicker, and we can adjust the color. We can adjust the fall off, the range, whatever. So, I don't think I want to adjust this because it says that my hillbilly accent there, it says that the room is lit. I mean, it's a pale light, but I don't know. I think that will be good there, honestly. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Let's turn this on again. Whoops. Here we go. Everything is on. Need to go into play mode. Make sure you're in play. So yeah, as Gloria's kind of, she's kind of working her way around, she's going to see that you're going to be able to see anyway when you're down here. You're going to be able to see that light coming out of the room anyway. So, what I think I'll do is to block the light, because you're down here. You wouldn't technically be able to see in there. So why don't we add what can we add? What kind of line of sight wall can we add? I think we can add a window. I think a window might... No, I don't think a window will do what we want to do. Shadowcaster. I guess we'll just have to add a line. We'll just have to add a terrain feature here and just kind of link it to the different points. So you can't, at least, the Gloria will be able to see here. So we'll go back into play mode. So yeah, at least we can't see into there. But the DM is going to have to turn that off. So the players can see when they get up here. You know what I mean? So, even though there's a lot of lighting, but there's some circumstances that are just not doable in a tabletop setting because, so say Gloria's up here, but what about all the other party members that are down here that are on the bottom floor, 10 feet below? They're not going to be able to see in here. So, that's why I'm putting the terrain there. But a window, we could put a window there, but the window you're still going to be able to see through. So, yeah. So we'll keep it like that because you're going to be able to hover over it and open it up for the players anyway. All right. So I like that. And then this is lit, and as Glory moves in, then you can see all of the auras kind of flickering. It's cool. All right, so there we go, everybody. I think that's going to be it for level 2 of Menace Under Atari. So I'm going to get this, I'm going to touch it up a little bit, get this over to Trinlo and Shade Raven, and then they can put that into the beginner box set and save them some time. So I'm more than happy to do that. So next week, like I said, I'm going to be doing the Starfinder beginner box set, and I'm going to be starting from scratch with a blank, basically an empty canvas. I'm going to start a brand new campaign, and I'll upload all the images and stuff because I do some prep before I start, and I'll talk about that next week. So I got a couple more minutes. So folks, Ask away. I think there was a question from before. Malik GM, what does the yellow dashed line mean you saw earlier when you were drawing a wall? Let's see, which one is it? It's not the door. It may be a toggable wall. Let's try it real quick. Oops. Duh. Is it the toggable? Nope. Toggable wall is blue. All right. So let's see. Is it a window? Window's yellow solid. Illusory wall. There it is. Yeah, the illusionary wall is the yellow dotted line. And to delete these, just make sure you click select, double click on any of the points and just hit the delete key and it will delete that section. But you got to be careful though, because you could delete a lot of your map. You know, if you're just trying to delete one point, don't double click it. Just do a single click on the point, because I've done that as well too. And we don't have, you know, back and forward Control Z and A and Control Z and X or Z and A, whatever it is, added back in. Although Carl was working on that this week. So, all right. So that answers your question there. Let's see. Brett. Hey, Brett, what's going on? Brett's over on YouTube. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. This is looks outstanding. Oh, Shade Raven. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I'll get you guys this occluder data over tonight. You've only started toying with lighting and it offers a lot. Yeah, it does a lot. I mean, it can't handle every single situation, but for the most part, it does. I mean, there's like, you know, like this room with the light coming out of it. I mean, obviously, Gloria would be able to see it, but would the other players be able to see it down here and be able to see the mushrooms and stuff that are really short? Probably not. Not unless they're like an ogre or an Etten or something. They're super tall and they can just kind of look over the, you know, the embankment and say, "Ooh, look at those yummy mushrooms." But yeah, thanks. But yeah, I'll get you that occluder data over to you tonight. It'll save you in Trendlo some time, that's for sure. Tib Ramel, thank you so much. It does look pretty sweet. It's no problem, Trendlo. It's my pleasure, man. Yeah, I've got these up on YouTube, so there's a playlist of all of these sessions, and they're all labeled what I'm doing, so, yeah. Yeah, you were close, Bane. You were close. Close, but so far away. So last call for questions, folks. And I'm going to be wrapping up my game prep stream for this week. I'll be back on next week. And like I said, I'm going to be starting the Starfinder Beginner box set because I'm going to be running some players through that as well. So, yeah, it sure does. It's... You know, it's a game changer, Raven. I mean, it really is. Lighting is a massive game changer for Fantasy Grounds. So, I don't think it's ever going to come out, Bane. Yeah, we're not messing with it. I mean, if another company wants to do it, you know, that's fine. But we don't have them. I mean, we have 13 full-time employees, and every one of us are working our tails off doing a huge amount of stuff every day. But, you know, it's easy to do when you enjoy your job and when you love your job. So, I mean, but yeah, I don't see VR coming out. Not at all, man. Yeah, I can't wait for the box set either, Zerbius. Yeah, I got the box set. I love the Pathfinder 2 game. It's such a great system. Was Dominic on what was he on, Rob's show or something that Sunday night? I think he was on one of those shows, if I'm not mistaken. Fantasy Grounds College show or something like that. Fantasy Grounds Academy now. Yeah, that's cool. Old Super Teddy. He's a machine too. He's a machine. Trenlow's a machine. Holy cow. Trenlow's probably got like 500 projects going on right now. I'll have them done this weekend. Oh, mercy. All right, everybody. So I don't see any more questions. Thank you so much for hanging out. And thanks for joining me today. We've got the Menace under Atari maps done. Next week, we'll start with a brand new clean campaign, and we'll do the Starfinder rule set. So like I said, I've got some prep to do. I always import my images into the assets interface before I start, simply because I don't want to have to stop when I'm going and upload images, crop them, and cut them out of PDFs and stuff. So, but yeah, we'll do everything. We'll make encounter parcels, we'll make loot parcels, we'll make journal entries, we'll put all the pins on the maps. Like I said, we're starting from scratch next week. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and I'll see you folks next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to take a short break, and then at 5 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to have on Paulette again this week, and we are going to talk about looking for group and how you can look for groups in Fantasy Grounds, and also if you want to start a game. So until then, in about an hour, happy gaming and stay safe. Bye for now.